Hi everyone, welcome to the Nordic Kitchen. In honor of Nordic Ware's 75th celebration, we've invited local celebrities and chefs to come join us to make new memories in the kitchen. Today we have Paige Goehner with us. Paige was the winner of the 6th season of the Kids Baking Championship on Food Network in 2019. She's going to be a freshman at Spring Lake Park in Minnesota, and she is an advocate for juvenile arthritis. Welcome, Paige.
Thank you, Mindy. It's so nice to be here.
Tell us what you're going to be making today.
So today we will be making a chocolate cherry bundt cake in Nordic Ware's 75th Anniversary Braided Bundt.
Yum, sounds great. Let's get started.
Now that we have all of our ingredients for our chocolate cake pre-measured, it is time to mix our dry ingredients together first. So over here we have some white granulated sugar that you just want to dump into a large mixing bowl with a whisk. Some all-purpose flour that you just want to add right on top of your sugar. Our next dry ingredient that we have to add is our cocoa powders. Now I use two different kinds of cocoa powder when making my chocolate cake. I use dark cocoa powder and regular cocoa powder because the dark cocoa powder adds a richer, more decadent chocolate flavor to the cake. So you just want to add both of those in. And now it's time for our leavening agents, which makes the cake rise. So we will be adding equal amounts of baking soda and baking powder. And now we just have our last dry ingredient, which is a little bit of salt. Now you just want to mix all of those dry ingredients together until all combined. Once all of your dry ingredients are mostly combined, you want to take your whisk and move it to a separate bowl, and you want to start combining your wet ingredients. So right over here we have some vegetable oil. And just pour into this bowl. Now we have some buttermilk. Now I use buttermilk in all of my cakes because it just makes the cake more rich and makes it have a lot more flavor. So you just want to pour that in with your oil. And you'll also want to add 2 whole eggs. And then our last wet ingredient for right now is a few teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now you may be wondering, why am I adding vanilla into a chocolate cake? It really enhances that flavor. Now that all of our wet ingredients are together, do the same thing as with your dry ingredients and mix until all combined. Now that we have our combined wet and dry ingredients, you want to take your wet ingredients and just pour them in to your dry. So one of my favorite memories that I've ever had in the kitchen is probably 5 or 6 years ago, making my great-grandma's secret sugar cookie recipe with my dad and my grandparents around the holidays. We make them every year, and the only people who know what the recipe is the people on the side of my dad's side of the family, and it just makes it so much more special to be able to pass that recipe down through so many generations. Now it is time to add our last ingredient for this chocolate cake, which is some hot coffee. Now I always use hot coffee in my chocolate cake. You can use hot water, but the coffee really brings out the chocolate flavor and makes it so much more rich. So you just want to pour that on top of the rest of your batter and let it sit for just a few seconds, 10 or 15 at the max, and then you want to start whisking it in, and that is our final batter. Now that our chocolate cake batter is complete, it's all mixed, now it's time to grease and prep our bundt pan. So first, what you want to get is a baking spray with flour in it. We are going to take it and we are going to heavily coat our pan with the spray. So just kind of hold it at an angle along with your baking spray, and then just spray it and make sure you get every little nook and cranny. Now it's time to take a pastry brush, and you just want to brush your spray upwards and all along the sides to make sure that you get it in every little crevice. And now that it has been completely prepped, it is time to take our cake batter and pour it into the pan. just like that, and you want to move it around in a circular motion to make sure that you have kind of an even coverage of batter throughout the pan. And now that we have all of that batter out, now it is time to take your batter and you want to move it and tilt it across your pan. Take your bundt pan and you just want to hit it just like that to get all of the air bubbles out. What I love about baking in a bundt pan is that Nordic Ware makes it so easy for you to make this beautiful, elegant dessert with minimal effort. Their pans make it so easy for you to make a great looking cake, just like that. You want to bake your bundt cake at 350 degrees in the oven for 45 to 50 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes, my timer just went off, and now it's time to take our cake out of the oven. So we've taken our cake out of the oven. It looks great. I think it's completely done. My toothpick came out clean. So now it's time to set it on a cooling rack and let it chill for 10 minutes before we flip the cake out of the pan. So looking at this cake just makes me realize how much I love baking. I've loved baking for almost my entire life because it combines like some of my favorite subjects. I love math and I love science and I love art and I love being able to combine all of those things into one thing that is absolutely delicious. So now that it's been 10 minutes, it's time to put on our oven mitts and it's time to flip our cake out of the pan. Now, this is always the most nerve-wracking part for everybody, for every bundt cake, because you don't know if it's gonna flip out and come out the way you want it to. But if you have spent the time to prep it and grease it correctly, you should be able to flip it out with ease. Now this is our baked chocolate cherry braided bundt cake. Even though this cake is beautiful in and of itself, we're going to be decorating it with some cherries and some whipped cream just for a little extra flavor.
Wow, Paige, that looks amazing.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. I actually can't wait till this video is over so that we can dig into that chocolate cherry bundt cake.
Yes, of course.
We really appreciate you being here today to help celebrate Nordic Ware's 75th anniversary, and we're really grateful to make some new memories in the kitchen with you.
Thank you, I had so much fun.